Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor. It's Monday, October 14th, and damn, it's cold. So I'm trying to do as many as I can outside before I have to bring it inside. We're working on our basement. I'm building a library, my wife's art studio, and it's just fun doing it out here. So anyway, getting right into this, I want to talk about our stupid president again. So let me just tell you a little bit about me. I am at heart a rebel, if you will. Okay, so I have, and it's not something I'm especially proud of, but I do have a rebellious streak, and I've had this my whole life. I'm working on it. I'm much better now, but I used to be, when I was a young man, if you said black, I said white. You say up, down. Like, I was fucked up as a kid growing up. I always rooted for the bad guys in the movies. Didn't they say that in Goodfellas, right? The mafioso, we always rooted for. It was a Goodfellas. It was I can't think of his Ray Liotta's character, the main guy, the rat, ultimately. But he said, I always rooted for the bad guys in movies. That was me. Always the bad guys. I used to watch professional wrestling. I always liked the underdog, never mainstream. I loved heavy metal music, anything outrageous. And I, as a kid growing up, AC/DC. I was before when Bon Scott was the singer, like this real. And then they became sort of mainstream, and I kind of AC/DC's cool. It's whatever still, but I have this rebellious streak, and I've always gravitated toward the bad guys. And now that I'm a middle-aged man, I'm basically mainstream. I love mainstream culture now. Things are better than ever. Film is better than ever. I'm not necessarily music, but just podcasts, just the internet. I just love, if you want to call it, I wouldn't call it necessarily mainstream, but okay. So here's what's interesting about what's going on with this Trump phenomenon and this mega deplorables, if you will. They are essentially anti-establishment. Like, fucking, let's break the thing and let's fuck everyone, fuck the elites, all this and that. And what's interesting is it's the Republican Party. Conservatism, which is preserving the old way, keeping the way, preserving tradition. And then you have a maniac president who wants to fucking destroy everything, right? So, I mean, he has the whole, like, make America great again. It's complicated, but here's essentially, he wants to break things. He wants to drain the swamp or whatever. He is the swamp, by the way, so that's a bullshit line. But anyway, go back to the 60s. I like music, rock and roll, hippie, all that stuff, anti-establishment. In the 60s, it was the Democrats, the liberals, the Vietnam protesters. They were the radical, crazed sort of left, and the squares were the Republicans, like Nixon. And the guys who worked on Wall Street, who were straight-laced, right? So now it's turned around. Fast forward to 2019, this Trump phenomenon, the crazed people are the Republicans who want to fuck everything up, and the Democrats, elites, want to keep status quo, right? So it's so weird these times. As Joe Rogan says, these are strange times, So I want to talk about, like, your guy. Let's just say, here's another thing, too. Young people, there are more young Republicans or Trump supporters than there ever has been, not necessarily Trump supporters, but people on the right. And it's basically a backlash from the left going too far. And I'll admit that. I'm not crazy left. I'm in the middle here. I'm a centrist. But the left with as Joe Rogan says, when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner, it's like the people said, "Get the fuck out of here! This is crazy." The left has gone too far, and younger people are like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're transgender? No fucking way, man! You're insane in these safe spaces, and it's ridiculous." And young people are saying, "I am not that." So they go for this asshole, this Trump guy who says, "Oh, they think he's the opposite." But here's the thing: your boy is a phony. He's a phony baloney. Trump has always wanted, in the worst way, to be mainstream. He wanted to be the elites. A couple of months ago, I finished up a book by Tina Brown, right, from Vanity Fair. She came from England when she came to New York and started that, and she was editor there for Vanity Fair, and she didn't really know anybody. Like, she didn't know the New York scene and whatever. Or one of her first parties, and she sees none other than fucking stupid Donald Trump. She didn't know who he was. But she said, like, he kept saying, "Oh, I'm a billionaire." Maybe he wasn't a billionaire then. He goes, "I'm a really rich guy. I have a football team," and he's trying to hit on chicks. Like, he's trying to impress them. Like, "Oh, I have a football team." Like Tina Fey goes, "Who's this fucking asshole, man? Who's this fucking loser guy? Who's fucking Trump?" I'm real rich. I'm a rich guy. I have a yacht. I own the football. I own the New Jersey Generals. I mean, it was like he was gross back then. It's like he was trying too hard. Trump was trying to fit in, to be on top of the New York social scene. And here's the story. He's such a loser. He's so pathetic, like one of those gross, fake, phony fraud guys. It's like, ugh. So the elite were like, ugh, don't invite this fucking loser to our, and he's mad because he wants to be part of the Clintons. He wants to be part of the Barack Obama club, the Jeff Bezos club, the Bill Gates club, the Johnny Depp club, the actors, the mainstream, the Hollywood. He wants it more than ever, but he can't have it. And he's mad. He's 9 years old. And so you see what I mean? Just think about what a dirtbag, what a scumbag. Because we won't invite you to the party, he's gonna get mad. Donald's mad, the wannabe. All right, so there you go. That's the truth of the matter, people. Let me just say this. I've been following this guy, this scumbag in the White House, since the 80s. You know my story. My father told me about it. He said, "Oh my God, Mike, check this guy. There's this real estate developer. He's like this real big shot, He's like this hot shot guy." And I go, "Oh, really? In the back in the 80s, I didn't know who he was." My father said there was an article in the Star Ledger, and I started following him. And I go, "Dad, I'm not really impressed with him that much." And he goes, "Oh, he was on like 60 Minutes or something, or some magazine show." And I'm like, "I'm not impressed with him at all. He doesn't even seem, he's not very polished." I go, "Maybe it was a bad day." And sure enough, it wasn't a bad day. Donald Trump is dumb. He's uneducated. I know he has a degree from Wharton. That's bullshit. There's no way someone with a low IQ like that could get into Wharton. No, he had to pull some strings. This guy... All right, I digress. All I want to say is end it here. Donald Trump is a wannabe. All right? He's a wannabe. He's not your guy. I understand anti-establishment. There's a lot of fucked up shit with these rich fucks. 1%, they own 90% of the wealth. Like, get the fuck out of here. I get it. I'm pissed off too. Fuck those people. But this is not your guy. Trump is not your guy. Okay. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here on Taper Talk.